What is going on, my reefing fam? March here. This is Fragbox TV. You already know what it is, or maybe you don't. You're new to the channel. Hello. We're recording here from Toronto, and we're about to add some new corals into our display tank. Dog, what do you think? Why are you making that face behind the desk? Tia's making funny eyes. I have the craziest boss in the world. I agree. Yes, you do. So this is our display tank here in our shop. See? This is a shop. This is a display. Shop, display. Ta-da! Over here are some chromis that are dripping. Look how nice they are when they school. Tia's always giving me, not even just Tia, everyone in the store gives me shit for my chromis. Look how nice they are. Ah, I love these chromis. Okay, I did a video a couple weeks ago of gluing down. Thank you. Sidetrack of the day. Do your job. Yeah, clean, clean, clean. I did a video of gluing corals down and placing them instead of just randomly throwing corals at the tank and then doing an update. I kind of want to make this a little bit more interactive, and what I want to do is explain to you as I build the tank up why I'm putting a coral where I'm putting it, why I've chosen that coral, why I'm picking that spot, because I think coral placement for new hobbyists or hobbyists in general is kind of an important topic, because we want to know where to put them in our tank for best results. We're not going to throw acro here on the bottom, acro meaning hard coral, and we're not going to put certain corals like, what would be a low light coral? Mushroom. What else? Mussels? Blastos, not mussels, like Recordias. These would not do well on top. So for that reason, I want to kind of walk you through the placement, and it also just gives me a chance to talk to you guys and make it a little bit more interactive. Before I go any further, I'm going to show you two deaths that I've had recently. Here and here. Well, one death, there was a nice pink acan, and then I had another, it was kind of brown, but I really liked it, and I'll show you what the heck happened to them over here. First, I'm gonna go to my trusty apex. Get an apex. If you don't have an apex, you just push this button and all the flow goes up. Second sidetrack of the day is brought to you by our new Maxima clams. Aren't they nice? So let me show you this acan here. Womp womp. That is an example of a very unhappy, basically dead acan. I'm going to run it through the bandsaw and see if I can save that piece right there. Actually, let's do this now while you guys are here. Let's take it down to the basement. Let's see if we can save a portion. Okay, and while I'm doing that, maybe I can talk to you and tell you why did it die. Actually, I'm not sure. We did have an elk swing in the tank. My alarms were not set up properly. Oh, haunted basement. The alarms were not set up on the apex, and I was away, and I didn't realize that it kind of went out of whack. I think that might have done it. We also had some stray voltage and an exploding pump not too long ago, and I just got my ICP results back, and there is a lot of metal in the water, so that could do it too. We got rid of the unsightliness, and maybe from this, actually I do expect this to regrow. I got two little frags out of it. This wasn't supposed to be a fragging video, but that is kind of how this channel goes. It's sort of vloggy, and whatever happens, happens. Fraggy plugs. Some glue. Bloop. Yeah, that's good. And bloop number 2. Okay. So we got two frags, and hopefully a piece that we're going to save. Quickly show you the ICP test. Log in. Analysis. Let's go here. Look at that. Copper, heavy metal, no good. And a bunch of other heavy metals we never want in our tank in quantities that are really high. Okay, reefing fam, check it out how steady the camera is. This is called a tripod. Don't get used to it, because I am not going to use it. I like the shaky cam. But actually, let me pull this off one more time before we get into this, and I'll just talk you through the corals that I'm adding. So I'm adding these mushrooms here because we grow them somewhere else in the store. Oh, there's the phone. So these are some Rhodactis bounce mushrooms. We've grown a few of them in the store, so I know they grow well in captivity, and they are low light. They had a nice pop of color. They're kind of funky because they got this orange kind of on the vesicles. You can see the bounces forming there, and right, come on camera, focus there, and then it's blue, sort of a blue teal. So it's a funky piece, and this is going to be a low light coral. So I'm going to place it somewhere around here. This is low light. I could even stick them right in that cave if I wanted to. I have orange already on this side of the tank from the A-can, so I like to contrast, you know, add different colors here and there. The next one is this blue toadstool, given here by my friend Mike. I can also link in the description a video of him trading in a bunch of corals. He has 25 years of reef keeping experience, maybe more. So if you want to learn something from him, I will post in the description his video of him trading in this piece. I don't think the camera is doing it justice, but it is actually a blue toadstool. And another cool and unusual fact is its long tentacle. Like, they get really long. It almost has like an iridescence to it. Everyone here in the store loves it. It is really cool. Oh, quick update. Let's see how the peppermints are doing. Haha, look at that. Aptasia are no longer here. I had two nice big fat ones. I got so fed up one day, you can kind of see them chilling there in the back. See, look on the right side of your screen under that cave. You see that? Oh, right there. Hello. That's a peppermint. I added like a dozen. I got really fed up with Aptasia and I just tossed them in. And they are really good at eating them, clearly, because I am having trouble finding even one. Not a single Aptasia to be found. The next thing I'm adding is this. Now, I know it's a soft coral, and we don't get that excited about soft corals, at least most people don't, but I do. This one has a purple base with green polyp. It might be a Nephthia. I'm not 100% sure, and in my experience, high, low, wherever you stick this thing, it's pretty much going to do well. I forgot to talk about placement for this. I'm going to stick it lower than I traditionally do because this thing, when it gets big, it's going to get massive. Toadstools are going to get 8, 9, 10 inches. There's really no limit. And what I've done in the past, before we did the Reefscape, I had a huge toadstool here, and then it creates a canopy of light. It just basically shades everything around it. So that wasn't, it looks really cool. Like, it looks fantastic, but it's not really what I'm going for with this tank. So I'm going to put it a lot lower than I traditionally do. Imagine it's just going to turn into a big disco ball. I have this other sort of Nephthia that I found recently. It looks kind of like the blue pineapple tree coral we sell, except it's not blue. So I'm going to add that. This one I'm going to go a little bit taller with because I expect it to grow up and straight. So I'm going to use that to add height. And these are really, really easy corals. High, low, wherever you stick them. If I left him right there, I'm sure he'd be fine. If I decided to go up top, again, he's going to be fine. But I expect him to grow kind of like this. I'll just give you an example here. Straight up, just like that, like a big old tree. That it looks like a similar species. Same with that one over there. Same with that one over there. As you know, I'm always on the hunt for new soft corals. So anytime I find something new, I got one more here. Maybe this is a better example showing you top down. It's just a cool looking piece. And then finally, I'm going to add this branching Alveopora. Tia's got one over in her tank in the Studio 12. It's not the most striking with color, but I'm looking for unusual pieces. So I love Alve to begin with. They're beautiful corals, but it's kind of like a browny green. It's not like some of the crazy flower pots colors, but this is a branching variety. So look at some of the flower pots we have here. Just as an example, these are not Alveopora, these are Goniopora, but look how crazy they, like some of the colors are, wow, you know? Hello. Morning, 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 if you know what I mean. Really, really nice. So that one I'm adding is actually a piece of this. And I know I just said hello to the tripod and it's already back to shaky cam, but this is it here. This is a big one. And look how beautiful the polyps are. Kind of like a white-green center. And I'll just show you the skeleton so you can see what I mean when I say branching. Close, buddy. So what I'm doing right now, oh, there goes the camera. I'm pissing them off. They don't want to be touched, and I'm just trying to get them to close so I can show you what he's looking like underneath. I want the tentacles to retract, so I gently annoy him. Aha! Now look at that. Isn't that cool? So he actually branches out almost like a hammer coral. He forms these large nubs. Makes for really easy fragging. You could even just cut them off with some bone cutters. So we don't get this one in too often. It's a branching variety of algae. There you can really see, almost looks like a hammer coral out of the water. Now typically, algae are going to grow like this. I'm just going to piss them off too, just to show you. So they're not going to branch, they're going to grow like in a dome. That's the sort of skeleton structure we get. Sometimes they can encrust, like Gonioporas, they'll be, we call those Bernardoporas. And they're typically just going to grow like gonies, or I keep saying goni, that's short for Gonipora or flower pot. it's going to grow like a dome. So it's just going to grow in like a ball shape, just like that. They're not going to branch. Okay, I think that's enough explaining, but now you see why I want to add it, because it is so freaking unusual. And I want this tank to be a showcase of kind of weird pieces. Let's go back to the tripod so you guys can enjoy the non-shakiness. And I kind of gave you a walkthrough of where I was going to put stuff, but let's see where they end up. So sometimes you just have to try putting stuff on the rock and see where it goes. So I think I want to do this toadstool. I want it to be a showpiece. It doesn't have a sting, so that means it's not going to hurt anything that it touches really. So I think, oh, look at that. We've got a stem on the bottom. I'm just going to snap that off. Let's maybe start with this guy. Low light. I think I want him right over here. And you know what? Maybe I'm not even going to glue it. I typically don't like leaving stuff on the sand bed. That's just a personal preference. You can do as you please. But something looks really nice to me about just like uncluttered. Nothing on the sand bed, everything up on a piece of rock. So actually, you know what? That's a nice little fit. I think I'm going to leave it there. If tomorrow it looks good, I know it's good. That's the thing with coral. Sometimes you just have to try different spots. The flow looks kind of intense right now. That's because the Nero 5s I have running are on high variance. So this is the branching Albiapora. Again, no, slight sting. Slight sting on this one. Not very aggressive like, let's say, a torch coral or a hammer. I think, in terms of color, maybe over here I can give him some room to spread. I don't really have any plans for this side of the tank, and then he'll extend nicely, and he shouldn't, oh, there he goes. He shouldn't bother anyone there, and he shouldn't get bothered. So this time around, I'm trying to give stuff a little bit more space than like the last tank was just so packed. I want to leave a couple inches between the corals. It looks a little funny until they grow in when you have all this bare space, but I'm going to be more patient with this tank. I'm going to be a little bit pickier with pieces. I think on the last one I was just sort of, in a rush to get it looking good. I just used a little bit of our BRS wood. So I was in a little bit of a rush to, like, it's a display tank in the store, right? So I want it to look good when people come in and they're like, wow, look at that. Okay, anyways, this time I'm gonna take a little more time, a little bit more thought into the placement, and that's why I'm recording it. Okay, so now I'm gonna use these. These are my coral cutters. We sell them if you're looking for them. You can buy them on our site. You can go to reefcasa.com or Fragbox if you are in Canada. Okay, let's get it to focus. And what I do with these is I just snip the bottom off of the plug here, because then it's a lot easier to glue down when you don't have to try and glue this vertical piece. There it goes. I don't know where that piece went, but that's okay. I think I want this. I want it to really be low. I don't want to create shadow with it. And I think that's going to be the spot. So traditionally, toadstool, it's kind of a weird spot. Yeah, you know what? I think I want it right there on the edge. And then he has all this room here. I don't expect him to bother the acans at all if he's touching them, even if he grows into them a bit, but I shouldn't. Oh, look at that. Found a little pest while we're at it. I think this is a little vermitid snail. So I'm actually just going to grab my coral cutters. Maybe I can show you on camera. Oh, no, it's too dark because I have the lights turned off. But anyways, with the same coral cutters, I'm just cutting that piece off. So, goodbye vermitid. I don't mean to kill any of God's creatures, but you are no longer welcome in my house! Okay, so we're going to add our little bit of BRS glue. You don't need a lot, like I always say, a teardrop size. And I'm going to stick them right down here. Thank you, Mike, very much for this blue toadstool. I'm keeping one, and then there is one other one in the store for sale. Finally, this Nepsia, help me name it. Go back and see what it was, purple and green. I don't have a name for it, but if you are watching and you have a clever one, give us the name. And then maybe one day when it grows out, I can give you a piece. I said this one was going to grow tall. Purple and green. I'm starting to get quite a bit of green in here. I have green from it's escaping me. I'll come back to you. Cup coral? No, what's the Latin name? I'll come back to you. The acan, this is kind of a greeny teal. Greeny tealish blue again on the Duncan. The Fabia, kind of yellow green, and then some more green in the back. So I got to start watching and avoiding so much green because it's such a common piece in corals. Pagoda, that's what it's called. Pagoda. I knew it would come back to me. Okay, so I'm thinking I want height, and I'm already getting height from this. and I'm going to get height from the Tortusa as he grows. He's going to grow flat. He's going to grow flat. He's going to grow like a disco. So I think I want him maybe right here so that I get height, height, and then height. I want vertical. I want the tank to grow upwards, and then he's not going to bother anyone. Not that he would anyways, because he's a soft coral. So usually they kind of tick other corals off if they touch them, depending on which one. Kenya tree can sort of tick them off, but I find they don't really kill other corals the way that some of the aggressive LPS do. So again, Euphilia being the biggest one, the torches, frog spawns, and hammers. This one, not so much. Not 100% peaceful, but not really aggressive. You know, something in between. He's not North Korea, but he's also not Holland. Okay, I'm gonna go, I like this spot here. This one right here is not gonna bother anyone. If you don't like the disc, you could actually just take off from the disc completely on this piece. It goes piece by piece, depends on the piece, but he's kind of on a rock and then on a disc, so that would have been a good candidate to remove from the disc completely. If you don't know what I mean when I'm saying disc, it's that ceramic piece that he comes on. And then finally, this other Nephthia, leather, coral, whatever you want to call it, not 100% sure. He has a plug on a rock, so I'm just going to go ahead and take off the plug. Plug. And again, another piece with height. So this will probably be one of the last leathers I'm going to add to this tank. I'm going to get more into the hard coral, so I really want to think about where I'm going to stick him. This might be kind of cool. No, I think I want to reserve that for an acro. To get nice acropora SPS maybe up top here. How's that going to look? Damn it, we should do a live stream because then I could ask for your opinion. That's what we're gonna do! Yes! Okay, I just figured it out. Next one of these, live stream. So that you guys can comment. I'll set up the laptop. We'll crack open some beers. Maybe we'll get crazy and even order pizza. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Okay? I make this up as I go. Does it look like I have a script? Nope. We don't want one anyways. That's, I think, part of the appeal of the channel is you never know where this is going to go. Okay, I like that spot. I'm going to go right here. And I'm using just the DRS glue. So it's a good hold. It's not a permanent hold. If I change my mind, leathers, they have a pretty strong footing, but I could always just rip the foot up. Certain corals like, let's say, zoanthids, green star polyps, xenia, if I'm going to add those, there's no getting those off the rock. Those ones, wherever you're sticking them, you better like it because that's more or less going to be the spot. You know what? Do I like that? Kind of looks a little funky now, no? What do you guys think? I wish you could comment. Okay, this is why we got to do the live stream. Looking at it now behind the camera, looking at it, I'm not in love with that spot. I think I'm going to go next to the Gorgonian here. I think it looks a little wonky up there, and it's going to open up even bigger. So look, even though it's holding, this is a good time to change my mind. I think I'm going to go down here. And then I think I'm going to do a couple of my favorite hammers. They're here. Some atomic bomb hammer. We get an email about that like 3 times a week. No, you can't have any because you probably live in the US, and I'm sorry. I wish we could, but we cannot ship you corals. We just can't. But maybe you can drive up here and get them. I feel a lot better about that spot. What do you guys think? Comment below. Let me know. I think that's it. I think this has gone on for long enough. I think we're going to wrap it up. We're going to bid you adieu and say au revoir, adios, buenas noches, all of that good stuff. If you like the content, give us a thumbs up. It does help us. Or maybe even subscribe. Because then you'll get notified when my crazy ass picks up the camera again. And we can do this all over. Man, I love these fish. I'm emotionally attached to them. I have like a love-hate relationship with them. You see that cool wrasse? I can never remember the name. He's off to the right side of the screen right now, the big chunky one that looks like a little pink shark. I used to have 3, and then 2 of them went, oh no, hold on. Where's my yellow chorus? I hope he's in the sand. I don't see him. One sec. I'm gonna feed. Let's see. I have a big yellow chorus, or had. I'm not seeing him now. Maybe he's hanging out in the sand. Sometimes they sleep in the sandbed. And we were in here today, I usually don't recommend to wash the sand in your tank, but I'm running into some cyano. If you look on the bottom left of your screen in front of the ACAN, and on the far right there, a little bit of cyano. So sometimes if you do a gravel wash, without removing the sand, like a light one that can help. It just means that there's too much detritus. Okay, what am I talking about? I was supposed to say goodbye like 2 minutes ago. Thanks you for watching this episode of Fragbox TV. Bye for now.